for my poor student in the far reaches. Oh, here it is. I found it. All right, and my webcam still isn't here. Oh, I'll get here eventually. First things first, let us check lesson 4. We'll start back, going back to equations, because I have been using whole lessons as your grades. Rather than just a free test, rather than just singling out the free test, I use your whole lesson because they give you a higher grade. And free tests are a terrible thing to take dailies off of. It has always come out low. You don't want to start your year off with a bunch of 70s or 80s, as a matter of fact. So I'm trying to help you out. All right. 1A on page 11. N equals 40. I'm not going to worry about the checking. If that came out correctly, then we'll just send it. So I'm just going to go straight to C. 63 equals X. 2A is X equals 24. And C, X equals 26. Any questions? Good, all right. 3A, 8 and 2/5 equals X. B is N equals 8/9. And C, X equals 12. Missed the mixed number thing. Just came out. Unfortunate. Okay. 4A, 2 equals X. Again, not going to worry about the checking. 5, X equals 4. 6, X equals 2. 7, A. 9 equals N. B, N equals 2. C, 2 equals X.
Number 7. Well, 7.
B,
B,
N,
X.
B is N equals 2. C is 2 equals X.
What's 4 and 5?
4 and 5. 4A is 2 equals X. 5 is X equals 4. Struggles? Did you do it in the wrong order?
No. I just didn't get it.
Okay. 8. N over 15 equals 3. What did I think about that in class? I can't remember. 9, N plus 14 equals 23. 10, N squared equals 49. 11, N minus 10 equals 5. 12, 4 equals X. Actually, I should have done algebra first because I quit so well. We'll try to get this down here pretty quick. 13. A, 2G plus 4 equals 16. The answer is 6 children. 14A, N divided by 6 plus 8 equals 12, and the answer is 24 students. All right, into the pretest. 1A, 7.5% or 0.075. B is 0.2% or 0.002. 2 is 9.3, 3 is 0.194. Yes?
What if I misspelled the zeros, like, if I didn't pronounce
Before the decimal?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna count them all.
so just marking them, like.
Just draw them in.
What was 2?
9.3. 4, 3 people. B, 33 people. 5 is 22. 6 is 175%. 7.
5 is 22.
5 is 22. Oh, You had 3, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
What did you have?
Yeah, I did.
Huh?
Or something.
I'm trying to help you out here, but you help me out, I'll help you out.
I want something completely way up.
You know why you did?
Yeah, I think I know why it's off.
Okay. We'll cover these a little bit here in review for a second. 7 is 6%, and 8 is 60%.
Wait, what was 7? Okay.
Well, you were just
7
supposed
is
to
6,
round.
60%. So what?
Were you just supposed to round?
To the nearest whole percent, yes.
And then
Is
8
it right
was,
there now?
8,
Count one off for both of
What
those.
was 7? 7 was 65%?
7 was 6%,
and then 8 was,
8 was 60%.
so I got all of them.
You got all of them wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was 6.
6 was 175%. All right, so how do we do this? What do we do number 7? Change from 90 to 85. A change from 90 to 85 is a decrease of what percent? How do we work this? First step,
Or do you make a percentage proportion?
yes, you do make a percent proportion. So what is a percent proportion?
Is of,
Is over of equals percent over 100. So percent proportions are anytime you're trying to figure out what percent something is of something else. Proportions themselves are very, very helpful tools. But you know, basically, yeah. I'm trying to think of an easier way to describe what a percent proportion is and the job it does. But basically what it does, do you know what a simile is? What is a simile?
What is this like it has?
Right.
to describe something.
To describe something else. So if you say somebody lies like a rug, that is a simile. And it's a fairly decent one, correct? Basically, what a percent proportion is it's a simile. But we're using math, so it has to be exact. So you can't, let's say, lies like a rug. If somebody doesn't obviously lie like a rug, right? So that means we have to use numbers to change it from one comparison to another comparison. Do you understand? Did I make it more complicated? I might have done that. Here's the deal, all right? What we're doing is we're taking what amounts to a fraction and we're changing it to a percent. Does that make sense? All right. So this is over of is a simple fraction. All right. So we have to, unfortunately, start a little farther back with something like this. So we have a change from 90 to 85%. Right? So what is your up? What is your big number? 90, correct. What is the small number that's on top?
85.
Unfortunately, no.
It's 5. Yeah, 90.
It would be 5, yeah.
Right.
Now,
So the decrease, the decrease is the difference between the 90 and the 85.
I
Right?
took
That's
the whole number, like
Yeah.
85. So I
right.
had,
So what do you have?
I have 272 first, 94, and then 40.
Yes.
So like,
So the problem is you need to find the difference first, right? So then our fraction here is going to be over what?
5 over 90.
5 over 90. equals what percent?
6%.
Or, wasn't it 5.5? Doesn't matter, we rounded it up to 6%. So percent over 100, basically, yeah. Basically, it's a division problem, 5 divided by 90, multiplied by 100. Except that you can do it in a different order. You can go 90 times 100, and that way you never have any. That way you don't have this number that you have to worry about. 5 divided by 90 is 0.55, right?
Times 100.
Then you multiply by 100 and you get 5.5%. You round that to 6.
Wait,
The thing to remember is that this is a fraction. So you're making a fraction with your two numbers. Sometimes that's easy to remember, sometimes it's hard.
Yeah, I
The
got,
system will work through it.
I
but
got that right.
It's important to remember what's behind what you're doing.
I went back and looked at my work and I did it exactly how you did it with the calculator answer book. I
Good.
don't know how I did that because I
The way
would have put 85 over 90, I'm pretty sure.
you would have put 85 over 90.
Yeah, I don't know why I did.
No, the important thing to remember is that when you're having a change, they're wondering what percent the change is.
yeah,
So the change is a difference,
94% doesn't really make sense.
not particularly. No, it would not be a decrease of 94%. That wouldn't work. All right. Other things you might have struggled with. 12% less than 25. Anybody get that one wrong? 5?
Yeah, I got it.
You got that one wrong as well? How do you figure that? Same way, essentially.
25.
Is over of equals percent over 100. So what's your fraction?
Don't you go 12 over 100? Or no?
12%. Oh, see, here's the problem. Is now we're not figuring out what percent. This is when the proportion really shines, right?
So you need to go 12 over 100. And then-
Right, so you have 12 over 100. Oops.
10 over 25 or something. Or not, yeah.
Right, because the percent is behind it, it's 12 over 100, and then you have, your variable, and then your 25.
So just go 25 times 412.
Precise, 25 times 0.12. How do you come up with that?
Me?
Yes,
I'm not sure, I didn't even put any, proportion, I just knew how to do, so I just went.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, basically, you just multiply 25 by 12%, and 12% would be 0.12. Right? What's 6%? Wait up. 6% is how do you figure out 6%? The decimal equivalent of 6%. Christopher, how do you figure out the decimal equivalent?
2.06. 0.06.
So you did what with the decimal point again?
You just moved it twice to the left.
Right. Or
10 times whatever.
divided. Right. So then you multiply this. So to find 6% of any number, say you want to buy 6% of 100, you just go 100 times 0.06. That'll help you walk through some math stuff in a bit. All right. Oh, area and volume. Oh, goody. Throw it in the trash. I hate that one. tape picking it up, makes me mad every time. How do we find area of a parallelogram?
Go A equals. A equals base times height.
Precisely. So, the height which one of those two are parallelograms? Both of them. They are. Parallelograms just mean-
Too.
Right, the other one is also a square. Right, it just falls into two categories, parallelogram and square. Perfect. All right, so that means that what's the size difference on those, the area difference? It's the same, precisely, because the formula is the same. Area equals base times height, so that means the area of this one is
4.
precisely, and also 24. What about this one? This triangle here has a base of 6 and a height of 4 as well. What is the formula for that?
So, you guys, it's
Then
24.
it would be 12, right? Because it's a
Yeah.
half.
You guys, it's
Or this
4.
triangle is a half of a square.
Right. Let's write the formula out. Area equals
1/2 base times height.
1/2 base times height. Oops, I think you need the parentheses. 1/2 base times height. Precisely. So you take, in this case, let's just work it out. Area equals 1/2, what's base? Leah?
6.
What's the height?
4.
Chris? 4. And then you just go 24 times a half. It's the area equals, and then you're right, it is 12. Area equals 12. Precisely. All right, and now, so now this is a prism. So what next?
Do the height, and then there's that length. What's the length?
This distance right here, we'll call it 10, because that's easiest.
Then you're just gonna get 120.
Precisely. So what's the formula for this?
A equals
A, B.
V, because we're worried about volume now, not area. V equals capital BH. What does capital B stand for?
area of base.
Area of base. What's the area of base? 12.
Times 10.
Right, times 10. So volume, because we already figured out the area of the base was 12 times 10, and somebody already told me that'd be 120, and I can't keep it a secret. That's a hard one though. 12 times 10, I don't know. I'm not sure if you guys are up to this challenge.
Anything times 10 is one of the easiest.
All right. So, say for example, ooh. Yeah, never mind. All right, so then this one turned into a prism. With a length of, it's not gonna be 10. It's gonna be 6. What's our formula for a rectangular prism? It's actually easier to do your work down there under your desk instead of on top. Couldn't see that coming. Looks harder to me. Always makes me feel like you're trying to hide from me. Is that what it is? Okay. I'm just seeing all 3 high schoolers with their desks up and I'm like, my teacher's spidey senses are going a little bit like, whoop! Somebody's hiding something fun and interesting behind those desks. Yeah, you'll get that. All right, so what's our formula?
V equals LWH.
V equals LWH. What's V? What's the L? length, and what's W?
Wait,
What's the H, Chris? Ooh. Yes, the height, what's the height?
What's that supposed to mean?
Here's the height.
Height is, 4.
Could be. The truth of the matter is, because it's multiplication, doesn't matter what order you do it, so you just make sure you get all three numbers in. Don't use the numbers more than once because that'd be inconvenient and stupid and it wouldn't help you at all. So, we're gonna figure the volume out. The volume equals,
6 times 4 times 6. Or whatever, 4 times.
we can go 6 times 6 times 4, or 4 times 6 times 6, or, yeah, what you said. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter the order. We got it. All right, so what's 36 times 4? Or what's 24 times 6? Or what's 6 times 24? Let me help you out. No, that's going to confuse everybody. My mind is doing mental math. Anybody figure that out in their head?
184. I don't know, it was kind of a guess.
144.
I think you're on the right track. Yeah, obviously, it's 12 times 12. Duh. Kids. I did that in my head. Yeah. 144. Volume equals 144. Made it. We're winners. All right. Oh boy. Oh dear. We're not winners. We're going to lose here in a minute. All right. So do your pretest, please. Just go ahead and do that. Oh, let me think. Oh, how are we going to go about doing, stop, Chris. And how are you going to go about doing number 3? What are you doing in that situation?
Number 3.
On page 18.
If you go, draw it out.
Yes.
We go 7 plus 10
No, no,
15. Times 5.
it's 5.
No clue.
You find the area of that little triangle, it is the length, base is 5, and the height is 3.
Yes. So you go like this, and you have to split this into. That's an ugly shape. All right. So you have to split it into multiple parts. So think of it as doing, first you do your rectangle, which is base times height. And then you add it to your triangle, which is 1/2 base height. That's what you do. You have to split it into 2 parts. So try to think of it as multiple little pieces. Excuse me. Stupid frog. Think of it as multiple little pieces you have to add together. Go. Algebra. Sorry it took so long. We are here. We're going to add and subtract the thing. We're going to add 1/16 plus 3/8. And we're going to subtract 3/4 minus 1/5. And we're going to multiply 2/3 times 1/2. Christy, you do the top one. Lisa, you do the middle one. Josie, you do the bottom one. I gotta run real quick. Just on account of the class.
You want to do it on the board?
Yes, do them on board, please. Sure.
It helps if I know how to do it.
I have no idea how to do it.
Like cross out this, and then you no, do it.
So
You just add
it's
it.
2 times 8 equals 16.
Oh, yeah. That's 6.
6 over 16.
We have
I think number 4, I forget.
We just,
That's
minus
number
4.7,
It's
minus 4.
This.
What's the thing part 4? I didn't even know do number 4. Yeah, they just do it. And then before it's gonna be.
We just said,
Yeah.
the first
Yeah.
sentence. We just said what was going on. No. You have it right. I'm sorry, Kristen.
I've actually only do this.
You don't have any fractions.
I don't know how to do the bottom.
That one's easy. Looks like I'm doing it right.
Did it work? Yes, very well. So how would you do that? So you had to subtract, minus 2 and an 8. How would you go about doing that one?
8 on the bottom of the first one. And that would be 2 times 6. It was bottom one from the reason for the 2. And it would be 2 over 8 and 2. That'd be the first fraction. Right?
Well, no. The practice set on lesson 4,
What's the practice set?
which is stuff before the pretest.
All this stuff?
You did it?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
16.
You're mildly wrong.
But
So here's the problem, we don't need to-
lowest common denominator. in both of them.
Yes, you're kind of right, but also a little bit wrong. All right, so the thing that you got wrong is that you have to borrow. You don't. Because you're subtracting this from this, and since this is smaller than this, you don't have to borrow a thing. That's the only thing you did wrong. Your lowest common denominator is 8, you're correct. So you can go 3 minus 2 equals 1 precisely, and 1/4 minus 1/8 equals 2/8 minus 1/8, so that gets you 1/8. So your answer here is 1 and 1/8. All right, let's do another, more fun one. 4 and 3/16 minus 1 and 3/8.
So your whole number is 3.
Yes, this one is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then 16 is
Because this is bigger or smaller? What's going on here?
bigger.
Right, 3/8 is bigger than 3/16 because science
But
and math.
that's, we had better check over that.
Maybe should. Right, so I'm not sure how many of them they had where you didn't have to borrow, they were pretty. But yeah, in this case, you would have to borrow, so this would be a 3, and that would change 3/16 to what?
19.
19. How do you come to that number?
16 plus 3.
Right. 16 plus 3, so it's 16 times 1 plus 3 or whatever. Yes. So you have 3 and 19/16 minus, Chrissy?
11/8.
That's not necessary. No, you don't need to change this one. You can actually just keep this one 1 and 3/8, or 3, my bad. Nope, not eighths.
16.
6/16. Why? Right, they have to have the same denominator. The reason you don't have to do that switching the number thing is because this is on the smaller side. Right? So this, you don't have to make this number bigger in order to compensate for anything. It's same as you never, say you had 12 minus 6, you wouldn't do anything to this number. You would borrow from the 2. Oopsie, my bird. You would borrow from the 2. You use a different number because you can do that one in your head.
How do you get the 6? Is that what you're doing right now?
1, 3 minus 6. So this 6 right here?
Yeah.
No, that's not what I'm doing right now. How you got the 6 is you went, whatever you did to this bottom number to get it the same denominator, you did to the top.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So we multiplied the bottom by
2.
2, so we multiplied the top by 2 as well. All right, so over here though, the reason you don't have to borrow is the same reason you don't have to borrow from the bottom number. And let's say you had a 16 here, for instance. Same reason you don't change this number at all. You don't borrow from the 1 to make your 6 bigger in order to subtract. Because this is on the receiving end of subtraction and not the giving end, you just go 3 minus 6 obviously doesn't work. So you borrow from this number, 13 minus 6 is 7 in this case. You do not change this number at all. Now, of course, you have to borrow it. So your 10 minus 1 is 9, but you never borrow from this side of the equation. So it's like this is underneath. So you can do it that way. You go 3 and 19/16 minus 1 and 6/16. You come out the same. You just never borrow from this bottom. Don't borrow from the top. All right, what's our answer? It's now up to the answer part, and that's the fun part.
13 over 16.
2 and 13 over 16. How are you guys gonna do the quiz? Can you do more reading? I will look over it here in a second. I'm not sure actually. I didn't look over it this morning. I was busy looking at science instead. So that's my bad. There's a system for everything. All right, what are counting numbers? Christy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
0 or no?
No.
No 0. What about the counting numbers plus 0? Say again? Yes. Whole numbers and their opposites are integers. What about the distance of a number from 0? What would you call that? Numbers expressed as a quotient of two integers. Oh my goodness.
That's rational.
That's rational, yes. So if you can express a number as a fraction, so obviously just a simple division problem, that's a rational number because you can express it as a fraction or as a division problem as a quotient of two numbers. Numbers that cannot be expressed as a quotient of two numbers, or you can't express it as a fraction, irrational numbers. Give me an example of an irrational number. Pi. Or, try another one. Yeah.
0.1234567.
There's a pattern. Right. Basically, if they go on and on and on, and you can't fix them, then you just put the old dotted behind them. You know how to graph numbers? So say we have two different, say we have the number negative 16 and 16.75. This number line starts at negative 20, and this is negative 15, and here we have negative 10. This number line, we have 16, 17, 16, 15, negative 17, negative 16, negative 15, negative 14, negative 13. Drew, just come over and do that one for me. And Lisa, keep going and do this one for me. Yes, very good. What is the absolute value of this number? 16.75, yes, it is its distance from 0, 16.75. Convert this number to an improper fraction. How do we do that? 12 over 1. That's an improper fraction. What's the identity property of addition? This is multiple choice. What's the identity property of multiplication? What is the commutative property of multiplication? Right, doesn't matter which order they're in. What about the associative property of multiplication? What do you want to come up here and write on the board?
I could, but I would have to know what it was first.
Yes.
What did you say?
Commutative?
Was it supposed to associative?
Commutative.
Oh. That's pretty confusing. Commutative?
All right, now how about the commutative property of multiplication?
Want me to do it?
Sure, you're up there. Right, it's the same as addition, it's different. What about the zero property of multiplication? Zero property of multiplication? Yes. Alright,
The associated one has parentheses on it.
the associated one is the one that has parentheses, yes, that's correct. It means, it does not matter. Oh. We'll check that at the same time, we'll check this. Remember name and date. What you got here. How's that?
Good.
Okay.
You should
Yes.
think of it.
That's good. Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Oh, dear.
RBC.
Okay.
Is that minor debate? Or is it? I can't
What
remember.
formula did you use?
I can't remember, but I was pretty sure yes, we used.
Kind of looks like you might be missing a decimal point or something, but, or a decimal point for the wrong spot.
Where's the pen? It's area, no, 20. Well, I think I can get it like with the area circle. But it's like
Pi r squared.
pi. So that would be 36 times 36 times 2.1
Mm-hmm.
times 12.
Mhm.
Says it's easy. Is that right?
Appears right to me.
Well, that's how you did for both those. It should be.
Mhm. Fractions. Mm-hmm. Yep. No, but that's the point, is we're trying to get you to unreduce it essentially. You're going back to that. When you're done. So when you're done with the quiz, I should have mentioned this before, but I want you to hold on to it. Raise your hand when I acknowledge you, and everybody's done the check. Well, actually, switch them up and check the quizzes.
Oh, sorry.
That's what I put the flag in some of the schools. So I threw up. You have a question? Put a flag inside of your desk. We also had the desks where you pointed at the wall, and that's all you saw. I'm not a fan.
James would sometimes get too distracted. Someone was lying. I don't know if I ever had to, but they made these wooden things that you could only see behind you. They're just on the sides of the front, you couldn't see anything.
Yeah, I always got distracted. That's for erasers. That's not permission to throw erasers, by the way. That's what I did.
Are you giving a cell phone
Well,
list? Because
I will tell you yes or no,
I
probably.
don't know how to evaluate these. And,
Yeah, just saying what's the absolute value.
you just go 6%.
Mhm.
And then these are ones I don't know how to do. Those ones.
Okay. Basically, what you're doing is you're unreducing them, essentially.
So making it bigger.
So basically, what's going on here is, they took this 4 and turned it into 24, so you have to take the 3 and turn it into something else.
Oh.
That's what they're trying to do. We still don't have an owner for the scissors. Base is mine.
That's mine, I don't know why it keeps showing.
Me either, but I have it again.
What?
I said me either, but I have it again.
Why did everything wrong?
Yes, sir.
Ah, right here. How are you supposed to figure that out with friends?
Open your reader.
What I see is a dictionary.
Oh, dictionary.
Actually, it's called.
You know, honestly, what we might possibly be in Wouldn't be surprised. Otherwise, an encyclopedia would be a good guess.
Where are the dictionaries?
There are pressing plants. You can definitely help yourself. Underneath that plant over there. Hopefully we'll be done pressing plants by this afternoon. Yes, sir.
I was just gonna ask how long it takes you to do it. So, yeah.
I'm right on it. Before you ask, I'll answer. No, I'm not God. Here's another one as well. And another one. We have options. We're not getting out of dictionaries. This man. Perfect. You done? Good deal. Let us check the quiz first. So switch it up. There you go. And use a red pen, so it's easier to see if you have one. If you don't, I will supply you. For a quiz, it's just as easier because then if you didn't mark them wrong, you need a different color so that somebody else can see. All right.
Can you supply me with that?
I can. I have like 16 of them. Three. I have 3. You bet. You can hold on to that. That way I give it to you again. All right, number 1. Natural numbers. 2 is whole numbers. 3 is integers. 4, absolute value. 5, irrational numbers. 6, rational numbers. 7, C. 8, D. 9, B. 10, A. 11, E. 12 is irrational. 13 is rational. 14, it should be about squarely between -20 and -25. On your little doohickey. So about right between those two lines, roughly, don't stress out about it. How do I count that? Well, it's between the lines it's supposed to be between. But yeah, 22.5 is exactly between 20 and 25, which, yeah, just don't, maybe put it in the right location. Don't have to make this up. 15, it should be on the line next smaller than -22.5. So, yep. 16 is 62, 17 is 21, 18 is -32, 19 is 150, 150. 20, the answer is 70, 21, the answer is 14, 22, 12 and 1/10. 23 is 7, 24 is 12 over 1, 25 is 31 over 34, 31 over 4. Not bad. 26 is 18 over 24, 27 is 35 over 40, 28 is 1/3, 29 is 3 over 7. 30 is B, 31 is C, 32 is D, 33 I, 34 H, 35 F, 36 G, 37 E, 38 A. Write the grades down. One wrong is a 97, two wrong is a 95, three wrong is a 92, four wrong is an 89, five wrong is an 87. Hopefully we got any less than that. Yes.
How much of this were we supposed to have done?
For today, we're gonna do like, we're probably gonna do that in class too. Let's do it all in class. All right, and let us quickly check the lesson.
What was one wrong again?
One wrong was, I think, so,
Don't understand anything.
yes, I do need to report the scores, so once you have them, you have them in there in the corner. All right, 1.4. Swiftly. Number 1. 4/5, 2 is 5/12, 3 is 7/8, 4 is 7/18, 5 is 8/15, 6 is 11/6, 7 is 13/12, 8, 16/5, 9 is 19/3, 10 is 1, and 5/6.
I like 6, 7, 8. Yeah, me too.
I like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wrong.
7, 8, 9.
What is it?
Okay.
What were we supposed to do? Cause I have 1 and 5, 6.
I have 1 and 1/3 and 4 and 6.
Me too. And
Where?
3 and
1 and 1/3 for 6. And 1 and 1/12 for 7.
If you have 1 and 1/12 for 7, you can mark that correct. And 1 and 1/3, you said, for 6?
No, 1 and 5.
1 and 5/6, you can mark correct.
And then 8, I have 2 and 19/3.
3 and 1. Me too.
You have what?
2 and 19/30.
If you have 3 and 1/5, you can mark it correct. Otherwise, no. And 9, if you have
6 and
1 and 13/24.
9, if you have 6 and 1/3, you mark it correct. 10, you have 1 and 5/6.
And 1 and 12.
12.
That would be 1.
Fair enough. Okay, I will get it basically recessed down. We're gonna have to hurry through this now. Try to. It's always my fault. I try to get too much review in and I don't take enough work out to make it, to compensate. So, my bad. 11, 6 and 19/40. 12 is 12 and 1/2.
That one's 6. That one's 6. That's 12 and 1 6.
Right now. 13, inverse property addition. 14, commutative property addition. 15, inverse property multiplication. 16, identity property multiplication. 17, commutative property multiplication. 18, associative property of addition. 19, zero property of multiplication. 20, associative property of multiplication. 21, identity property of multiplication. 22,
Is 16?
16 is an identity property of addition. I guess it's possible. 22, 79 over 5. 23, 4 over 1. 24, 33 and 1. Ooh, my bad. 100 over 3. 25, 4 and 2/3. 26, 12 and 4/7. 27, 1/3. 28, 8 and 2/5. 29, 2/5. 30 is 11. 31 should be one notch higher than the 7 and 1/8. Than the 7. 1/8 is 32. Should be just a shade higher than 7. So you graph that. 33 is 20. 34 is 3. 35 is 56. 36 is irrational numbers. 37 integers, rational numbers. 38 whole numbers, integers, rational numbers. 39 rational numbers. 40 irrational numbers. 41 rational numbers. 42 absolute value. 43 is 45 over 44. Or we have 1 and 1 over 44. That's also correct. 44 is 33 over 7. Or if you reduced it, that's also fine.
I have 4, 5, 6. I have 2 sevens. 4 and 2 sevens.
1, 2 sevenths is.
I have 4 and 4 sevens. 45.
Well, 2 of you are wrong. That's easy enough to figure out. So 4 is going to be 28, which is 2 and 3, so it'll be 5 cents. 2 and 5 cents. And 4 and 5 cents. My bad. 4 and 5 sevenths is correctly reduced. 45. 68 over 7. There again, reduce it. Say what?
What was the answer?
68 over 7.
13 over 70. 13 over 70.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay. So you are flipping the fraction upside down
Probably.
at times. There's a 70 run on there. I say 14, yeah, you have 14 over 70.
9, 5, 6. 9, 5,
46, 13 over 15, 47, 9 and a half, 48, 15 and 1/24. 49 is 5 and a half, or 5 and 1/5, my bad.
That's okay.
6 and 1/5 is wrong. 50 is 4 and 7 over 22. 51.
Okay, that's what I ended up.
Oh, my bad. I told you to.
That means I got 44. What's
You're
46?
50 wrong.
What's 46?
46,
46 had 13 over 4.
13 over 15.
Have 39 over 45.
Me too.
So they should be, oh. You see it, you, what over?
39 over 45.
Yeah. Yeah, mark half wrong for that because I think it's supposed to reduce. Now, obviously, they do not fractions unless they mention that you're supposed to change them from an improper to a proper fraction. Do not in the future.
What's 47?
47 is 9 and a half.
It's, I had one number wrong with that one. And it's 48, I had 14,
What's
1, 4.
less than that?
We'll have to go through some
How
of that.
are they getting to
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
They're just not reducing. I mean, they're not changing to a proper fraction.
11 to the half was.
So basically, unless they ask for a proper fraction in the directions, you don't have to put them in the proper fraction. All right, it is past time for recess. You may depart. And, Christie. Oh. No.
I never got to ask as well as fractions.
Yes, handles that, I need to smooth it right.
Then you need to change.
Yeah, I do also want to look at yours in general, and just see what's going on inside of that.
I probably did right how I did it. I
That
did
would
them
be
on my
helpful, but-
paper, It ain't fixed at all.
Your paper's probably thrown away by now.
Ooh, it was on this paper.
Oh.
Did it the easy way.
Okay.
Is there a volleyball?
Yes, there is. And I have it.
Me has it.
No.
Just for a student's rights movement. What?
Future go through the bond. I thought of, I didn't think of it on that.
What were you saying, Brenda? Said we should start a student's rights movement in the grand longer recesses westward.
We could just set up like, Congress.
Yes.
Yeah, short recesses and I'm president.
When I was at the head of Congress, I would agree that all schools across the United States have to have at least 20-minute recess.
You know what they're doing? They said you can pass college without knowing how to read or write.
College or high school?
High school, one of the two.
That's high school. Because in college, I don't think you knew words about reading and writing.
Well, they can pass it.
That's high school. She's so dumb.
Hey, run.
Oh, no, that's,
Misty, she has an attitude.
no, that real is so dumb.
We still hate for
Like, you can pass.
You don't wanna know.
High school without reading, free and write.
We have some, you can read your teacher, read you everything.
Okay,
I don't know. There's no way.
I know.
That's a whole other
YouTube is listening.
My teacher.
Just throw a spike ball on their screen.
She's near your desk, right, too.
Why don't?
You should. Or you could just send that. But your color coding can just send it.
Juicy, why don't you just, they're gonna be, everyone who watches it is gonna want to in school.
I should get a screenshot.
Was it me?
That's a question.
Can I move my desk right here? Sure.
I don't see a good reason why not. I'm trying to decide what your reasoning is, but maybe anything to do with your brother.
You're
not having a fight?
Computer.
Huh? Oh, you don't like how the computer just stares on the back of your neck? I see. No, I do not. All right.
Oh, shoot.
Oh,
Got it, so it's all problem just flying everywhere. Isn't that how song goes?
yeah.
Cool. Boy, I'm hip as home. Like I knew you would. All right. Oh dear. Our whole day is just thrown out of. It's a weird day. All right. We're going to check lesson 2. Yes, in reading. That's correct. If you are ever confused, I try to keep everything in order there. So that's actually the order of the periods. And also, I do have spare schedules if you need those as well. Let's check lesson 2. Number 1 is intrusion, 2 is acrid, 3 is sinister. Are you on that? It would be page 5. Okay, intrusion, acrid, sinister, reverberate, surfeit, and rouse. Number 7, 2 is unlucky, 3 is leading to evil, 1 is left-handed, and 4 is having evil intent. 8. Let's see what your options are, yes. What's your option for number 8? What do you circle?
A.
Okay, explain why.
You can respond, like, you know how to respond better in situations like that.
Okay. Leah, what do you do?
I had A, and so you can know about this series.
A. Just,
A
I had the
again,
same thing, Cody.
Richard?
B. I had C,
Okay. Why?
because I don't know, your friends use it a lot later than you think. Maybe just go back to it, find out what actually caused it.
Yeah. Moving around. 10. He smelled an unusual smell or odor. That was the one we were looking for, 11. Cody, what do you have for 11?
Red blood is flowing like like Scott from it, have to make one mark.
Perfect. 12. What do you have again for 12?
It hadn't been for a long time.
That's good enough. Something similar. 13. Chris, what do you have?
They were good friends, but
This says incomplete sentences. Did you use complete sentences?
differently.
Does it have a subject and a verb?
Yeah,
It does have a subject? Okay.
well, yes,
Uh-huh. Make it a complete sentence so when I look at it. Oh, yeah. Richard, what do you have?
Well, it says, well, for the first question, I have father and son, that's all I wrote. And then I also just put evidence of the story. I felt uneasy about you.
Right, and that is the other thing, is there was 2 points to this question. First of all, what was their relationship? And second of all, what evidence do you have? Make sure you have both of those in there.
so it's one wrong if you just have the one.
Just make it happen. Don't count anything wrong. Just make it happen, make sure you have complete sentences. When you hand them in, I'll look at them. 14, D, 15, C, 16, A.
What was 14?
14 is a D. That's a dog, or dingo, or dolphin, or delirious.
What was number 16?
A. Page 7, number 17 is D, 18A, 19C, 20B. 21 is A, 22 is D. Pulls right out fast.
There's no way.
Well, I thought, oh, yeah, it is. All right. Look at the top, I thought I was starting a new lesson. 23. What they have here is, fear can become an obstacle that hinders courageous actions. I will teacher check these and do as I see fit. Examples from the story of a character who met down to fear. Peter was afraid to complete his job after he encountered snakes, for example. Ben warned not to give in. Something similar. C, fear, and an example is having courage to do what's hard. 24 is to trust. What do you have for an example word, Cody?
25.
25 is LOC, or to place. What do you have for an example word, Lynn?
Local.
Local, that's a good word. 26, pass, to suffer or feel. What do you have, Chris?
Passion.
And Richard, what do you have for 25? What example word? Variety. 27, let us say it together. I have set before you
Life and death, blessing and cursing, therefore choose life. Deuteronomy 30.
Yes, and you do want to meet with stupid references, don't you? References show up on quizzes and things, don't they?
There's nothing.
Unfortunately. All right, so that's 27. So let's pull a grade. 1 is 96, 2 wrong is 93, 3 wrong is 89, 4 is 85, 5 is 81, 6 is 78. How bad is it? Is everybody done?
2.5.
2.5? And then call it a 91.
What's 2?
Is 93. Reading lessons are short, and it doesn't affect your grade.
One page, another page, another page.
I know, but they don't have very many quantity of questions. Where math might have 40 questions, and there's per point, per question.
Can I use this to cheat?
Yes, you may, or else you can use one of those. All right, literature. And yes, wait, do you have to read another one today, correct?
True.
How long is it?
Heard it on 14 to 25.
I would like you to.
Can you read it outside? Like, what's outside?
When is that other reading coming?
Raymond's like, oh, what books did you order last night? So we didn't order them yet. Your guess is as good as mine. I wish I had more literature. You see what I did there? How are your biographies coming? Yeah, really coming. Do you have some cards filled out, possibly? Okay,
I wrote down some of my questions.
good, that's a good start.
It would do anything.
Nothing.
No.
Well, you don't want to overstress yourself. Except for when the time comes, you definitely will. You know, it's a good thing if there's a last minute, because if it wasn't for that, I know I wouldn't get much done. I am definitely a person who tends to shove things off to the last minute. I'm not going to encourage that. I will hard on you. That's why I would make assignments in small chunks. And that's what I really, really wish that, by tomorrow you'd have your interviews done, if at all possible, obviously in your case.
Just a few days. 2 days.
I know, but you're gonna have to make it up later, and that's gonna be inconvenient.
We can do
I'm
it
still-
Sunday.
Right,
Mom's gone, I can do myself.
right, to do whatever you want, including school.
Yeah.
Whatever, that's why I make assignments in small chunks. All right, checking lesson 2. Right now. 1 is B, 2 is B, 3 is A, 4 is John Bunyan, 5, The Pilgrim's Progress. 6 is C, 7 is A, 8 is B, 9 is A, 10 is D, 11 is D, 12 is B. 13. Christie, what do you have?
There's always hope for someone to change someone in their life. There's hope.
God will forgive anyone who is truly repentant, even the worst sinner. What do you have for number 14, Lisa?
Stop and ask God to forgive you.
Say again?
Stop and ask God to forgive you.
Okay. Yes, I feel like I know what the question is more or less, but
Not really a question, is it?
read yours out loud, please.
What way am I doing?
What about you, Christie? Do you have 14?
Well, it says finding things to be addicted to volume, and honestly, it does seem like it wasn't anything, but I guess if you feel strong about it, and that's what I said.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, roughly the idea of don't harden your conscience by doing something that you feel is wrong. You can educate your conscience by studying the Word. Make your decision based on that. But violating your conscience by just simply doing whatever you're doing, by doing something whether you think is wrong or not. Yeah, I will check those when you hand those in. 15 is the church, 16, the shining of God's merciful face, linings. 17, life outside the church, 18, the Bible, 19, Jesus Christ, 20. The need for real earnestness and the need for real earnestness and leaving the wicked world behind.
For 17, I have sin.
I like that answer better, isn't it?
The world with its flowers.
Say again.
The world.
Yes.
What's it in?
They have life outside the church, which I'm not.
I have the world too. The world.
The world, I like the world better than life outside the church.
I
Because,
Obviously, Christians that don't go to church. They don't have a church, so
yes,
they can't go.
That's right, they just go to their houses.
I have been in a situation like that. Whatever. That's why life outside the church seems like a. Yeah, I like the world better than life outside the church. Because there's a difference. And sin is even better, depending on what the question is. Which I dare you, I don't have the question. But, yeah, so 18 is the Bible, 19 is Jesus Christ. 20, the need for real earnestness and leaving the world behind. 21, setting, characters, and events. 22 is sympathetic. 23, reading and learning about the Bible. 24, God's Word. 25, he likely feared the church authorities is what they have. What's 26? What's the question?
Right, the time you talk to your subjects, and so will the way you talk to them.
25 the question is, why did Mankind leave the Catholic Church as soon as many churches are not? Because of all he had to live his life, his family, friends, and his.
Right, and I would say that would be a result of fearing the church authorities. This probably might come up later, so maybe you want to just add that. Don't count it wrong, just add it. That he feared the church authorities. All right, there's 26, so count it 4 points per. So 1 wrong is a 96, 2 wrong is a 92. 3 wrong is an 88, 4 wrong is.
And it gets
Good. I actually had a teacher that wrote this book. Yeah, side note.
Do you want the answer to?
The whole enlightenment answer. which is interesting. Flashbacks.
Did he break?
The sheep.
Did she break?
Well, she tested it on us first. No, she didn't really. It was just, yeah. Like that question about life outside the church, I guess, is kind of a bit of a flashback, like I said.
Remember from? Are you back?
Okay, take 5 minutes. Bathroom things, whatever else. Drinks. What are you looking for? Navajo. You don't have Navajo in there. Really? Try again. Which? Go to there. Try random house.
Yeah, I was at the wrong place.
So what?
I was at the wrong place, it should be.
Okay. I was wondering.
New paper every time.
Please.
Just think that every sheet of paper.
Yes, the poor loggers.
I know, the poor loggers.
That's what I'm saying. You find it? That one doesn't have it, this one does. Navajo.
Yeah, I couldn't find it.
It's in that one.
Found it. This one. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's NA, it's the NG. Right? Oh. I was right, I took a wild guess. And it said southwest of
That is correct. Well, yes, we could but the southwest is correct. Yeah. Come on here. In the first sentence, underline my adjectives and draw a line and an arrow to the word that we modified. What question does Mr. Kent answer?
Whose car?
Whose car? Precisely. Christopher, you come up here and do the second sentence. Adjectives, underline.
I'm not sure if I can do that.
I bet you can.
I underline what the
Adjectives, what are adjectives?
um,
What are they modified?
by now.
Huh? Can anybody help me? What do adjectives describe?
Subjects and nouns.
Subjects or nouns? Yes, all nouns.
Not nouns and
Nouns and pronouns, yes. Pronouns are the same nouns. What questions do they answer? Not how, when, and where.
What kind, how many?
Which one, what kind, how many, and who? That's correct. All right, so draw an arrow from those two adjectives to the noun they describe. Right? What question does her answer?
What question is for what?
Her, the word her?
Yeah.
Which question does that answer? Which one, what kind, how many, and whose?
Oh,
Which question? What does it answer? Which one, what kind, how many, or whose?
Which one?
I wouldn't say so.
Not whose.
Whose, yes. What about fuel? Richard,
Fuel.
which question does that answer? What kind, precisely. All right. Let us check lesson 3. Number 1, a line under A and long with arrows going combined.
I didn't do that.
I didn't draw arrows.
No arrows being drawn.
Well, I didn't draw arrows, but
I didn't do anything.
I underlined,
Underline is what I just draw. Arrows just seemed unnecessary.
Okay, well, they're not. Unfortunately for you, you don't get to decide what's necessary and what's not. That's my
Should
job.
we draw one quick?
Yes. Draw her. Give it up. Good honk, we're still behind. You get behind first thing in the morning and you're behind all day. Maybe it'll straighten out at lunchtime. Hurry, 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 rush off my feet. I standing up like an old ox. Any of you ever read that book? Probably shouldn't read that one for story time, but it's a funny book. Don't imagine it's any worse than Hank.
Hank is worse.
If it's just about like hanging the cow, everybody could read it.
I would say it's roughly the same.
I hate Hank the Cow.
You don't like Hank?
I like Hank the
That's
Cow.
all my siblings listen to.
Hey, go ahead, go ahead. Oh, Pepper, go ahead.
Precisely. You got your arrows drawn?
Yep.
All of them? Every one of them? Every single one?
I hope so.
Okay. So A and long get a line drawn, get an arrow drawn to line, and bent and left get arrows drawn to slates. So it's, now what we're gonna do is, we're gonna do, each adjective is worth a point, and the arrow is, so half of it is the underline and half of it is the arrow. So, understand what I mean? You miss the arrow, that's half a point, miss the underline, that's half a point, you miss both, that's a whole point. And the worn are adjectives describing path, arrows to path, and the far goes to fields. Number 2, Nero, cruel and heartless. So cruel and heartless get underlined with lines going back to Nero, with arrows going back to Nero, and the deaths. The gets an underline, arrow going to deaths, and many gets an underline with an arrow going to Christians. Number 3, Edison gets underlined with an arrow to mother. His gets underlined with an arrow to teacher, his teacher. And the inquisitive get underlined with arrows to boy, and A gets underlined with an arrow to father. The Roman Emperor, cruel and heartless. So Emperor,
I do that.
what did you do?
I did the adverbs part and
I actually did miss
the.
Do you all need a minute just to finish your homework?
Yeah,
I think that's it.
Well, you like blend off the
I'm
bottom.
pretty sure I did all
The
the
only
rest.
part I didn't do was the arrows.
Yeah, I did all the rest.
The only part I didn't do was the arrows. I got everything else done.
I see.
Yes, you got that. Are you just gonna teacher check the diagrams?
How are you supposed to
I'll
diagram
grab
cruel and heartless?
Cruel and heartless.
Don't tell.
Where?
Be quiet. She's not
Oh.
done.
No,
That does need, it needs, deal with this. Deals with this. Cruel and heartless with and on this line. Underneath here. Because, yeah, it's an adjective phrase. Are you done now? The whole class is waiting, yeah? All right. Yes, so, basically emperor goes on the line and then the Roman, and then you have cruel and heartless, like such. Number 5, school goes on the line, and Miss mentions expensive school. I mean, it's right up there. Miss
I
mentioned.
never go to anything. I would never let anyone accuse me anything with Miss Mentions.
I'll come dressed as Miss Mention one day if you're not careful. Then we'll see how you do it. All right. 6. Exceptionally gets underlined, arrow to wise. Do you have arrows here? Good. 7. So gets underlined with an arrow to badly. Badly gets underlined with an arrow to damage. Because an adverb can describe another adverb. 8. Furiously gets an arrow to road, and away gets also an arrow to road. Because it doesn't explain how they furiously, it explains how where they rode. 9, noisily gets an arrow to were playing, so you can go both ways. Or if you have just one or the other, I guess I will forgive you. Because, yeah, were playing is over. 10, Tim arrived quite late. So what you have is, Tim arrived late, quite. Quite goes on this line right here. And I am going is I am going, and it's not anywhere today.
So today
Today is describing,
is an adverb?
right, which question is it answering?
I don't know, but how long is that? If I misplaced it.
How, when, where, and to what extent? Count it as a 1/5. So don't worry about it too bad.
Just one out?
Actually probably count each word as worth a point. I don't feel like counting all those words. Count it as 1/2. 12, barley mallet. How about a barley mallet instead of this? All right, barley mallet wrote some funny, goes on a line like this. Funny and extremely funny. Extremely funny books. All right, 13 is B, 14 is B, 15A, 16 is C, 17. I'll say the ones that get underlined first and then the ones that get circled. Underlined ones should be sparrow, table, lemonade, and caboose. Circled ones should be joy, decision, generosity, and danger. 18. Thomas Edison is circled. Venture is underlined. Years is underlined. Tower is underlined. Visitor is underlined. Scenery is underlined. Port Huron is circled. And sense is underlined. 19 is F. 20 is B, C, E. 21, A and D. 22 is H. 21 is A and D. 22 is H. 23 is A and F. 24 is B and G. 25, action. 26, action. 27, action. So 26, 25, had is underlined. 26, do like is underlined.
For 25 is action.
25 is, woo,
Yeah.
well, I'll be dipped.
I'm pretty sure 25 is me.
Yeah, I'll say. I was reading the answers, I wasn't reading the question. But yes, had. Had is definitely.
Can you read 19 to 24 again?
Let's finish 20, let's just finish the whole thing and look back and take the
25 is
questions.
E.
25 is,
What is
we're
it?
not worried, we'll go back and catch those in a minute. 25 is action or being, my bad.
That's
25
what
is,
I meant.
25, yes, 25 is being and had. 26 is do like and action. 27 is action, was working is underlined and was daydreaming is underlined. 28, give me an example of an imperative sentence. What's an imperative sentence?
Shut the door.
Tell me what to do. Yes, shut the door is a good one. Shut the windows on this nonsense. Something like that. Interrogative question. Leah.
Where were you last night?
Right, interrogative question. I mean, an interrogative sentence is a question. I mean, I said,
Please shut the door.
please shut the door. And you said, can you shut the door?
Please shut the door.
Right, can you shut the door? No. Beyond my abilities. 31. That's all spelling, and we're not going to do that right now.
Okay.
We do have a spelling test tomorrow. So I'm going to have you guys, if you have some spare time today, I want you to run over that. Yes.
For 27, I got the was working, but I didn't get the was daydreaming.
Mark a half point. I'll mark a point for the underlining, point for the word, and for the
And
action.
for 18, he isn't a noun.
What?
Like he,
Oh,
that had both of those in them.
no, definitely the he is a pronoun, which is a noun. Why did they make such an insane distinction between the, he is a noun. If you have he underlined, which you should,
There's two of them.
do not count them wrong. Yes, there's two he's, he, if you will. Yeah, so if you have your he's underlined, that's definitely, I guess since the answer he didn't have an underline, I won't have them under, I will mark them wrong.
I had the he's under.
Actually,
If you do have them right, that's the way I would write
There's
it.
three of them.
Oh, he.
There's.
Yes. Underline, they're pronouns and they're nouns. They're just a different type of noun.
Can you read 19 to 24 again?
19 to 24, I can't. F is 19, 20 is B, C, and E. 21 is A and D, 22 is H, 23 is A and F.
Wait, why is 21?
A and D. Or D and A. Can't, between the M and the T,
No,
that's an apostrophe.
A and D,
A and D.
isn't that supposed to be an exclamation point?
Do not count around with the other exclamation. I don't care, because you could have it that way. Although,
When I can't see anything, I'm usually.
you explain it, I can't see a thing, or something like that, similar. All right, be moving. We can't wait around. All right, and yes, if you have time today, which I hope you do, I want you to practice your spelling words.
So
You
you
got
just
it.
have science activities.
Yes,
That's it, right?
yes.
So I have, are you gonna give us your grade right now?
Huh?
You're gonna give us your grade right now.
Yes.
So this would mean I can have one wrong for my penmanship, 203.
Yes. Right, 1 wrong is 98, 2 wrong is 97. 3 wrong is 95, 4 is 94, 5 is 92.
5.5. 9.
Call it,
10.
10 wrong, 85.
I got 1.5. So is that 98 or 97?
97, looks like. Probably. All right, 12 wrong? That's unfortunate. All right, here's an 82. All right. Looks like we have some things to go over before the quiz tomorrow. We're going to briefly cover some linking verbs and how they operate. So we have 2 sentences on the board. Bill did Mr. Kent's car, yes.
How do you do the spelling? If it's 3, does that mean none wrong?
That means you have none wrong. Yes, basically I count spelling as worth 3
So
points.
if the lesson is that plus 3 points or does it say?
I worry about that. I add the 3 points in for the final grade. So what the deal is, you can have, I mean, if you do a really, really terrible job, you will have a 0 out of 3, and then that's 3 points wrong, 3 off. So you add those 3 to the other stuff you have wrong. Good? All right. What is our verb?
Is.
Is a verb. What kind of verb is it?
Linking verb.
It is a linking verb. What is it linking?
Car.
What's our noun?
Tilde.
Tilde, yes. Short from a tilde, but it'll work with me.
Did you use that?
Yes, I name all my vehicles. There's a reason for that.
What's the reason?
Well, I had 3 Jeeps. So you say, I'm gonna take the Jeep, and then nobody knew which Jeep you're gonna take. So we had to start naming them. And then I had 2 Cherokees. So you can say, I'm gonna take the Cherokee because, well, you had 2 options yet, right? So we had to differentiate between them. The red 96 Cherokee was Lucy. The brown or maroon 89 was Jack. And then the Jeep that I drive to church occasionally, whenever I don't drive Tilde, I haven't driven Tilde yet, but I plan to, was Karen, because she's always complaining about something. There's always something going on. The tire is 2 PSI below pressure or whatever. There's a light on.
That G is Karen. Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, precisely. That's why her name is Karen. And then this, it just seemed right to call the buck Tilde, and I'm not sure why. It just seemed right. It's the right thing to do. So, it doesn't have to have a reason. It just has to have a name.
You have 2 bugs.
No. But we named all our other vehicles, so now this one is without a name. We need a name, Tilde. Perfect.
You just need to get the bug.
Tilde's better. Has personality. I think I'm gonna get fake eyelashes for it. Probably not. All right. So yes, is our verb, tilde is our noun. So what it's linking here is the word is, the verb is linking the front half of the sentence to the back half of the sentence. It's actually, we're actually renaming something or describing it. That's what linking verbs do. When you see a linking verb, you know that there's some renaming or describing going on. Richard, I feel like you're ignoring me whenever you do that, and I know you probably aren't, but I feel like it. So if you could just nod, it would be happy. Appreciate it. All right, so what's going on here is we're describing what? We're describing tilde. We're giving it a, well, basically what this is what you call a predicate adjective. PA for short. That is describing tilde. It's saying, the way we diagram this is what tilde is then this little diagonal line, car. Guilty is a car. And then we can also put, because this is a noun, we're renaming our predicate noun. Oh, I lied. PN, predicate noun, because it's a noun. Because car is a noun, we all know. We can put an adjective underneath it. What's our adjective?
Mr. Kent.
Mr. Kant's, yes. Mr. Kant's car. All right, what about this word? Let's send it down here. What do we have going on?
She's leaking gas.
Yes. Linking or action?
Action is leaking.
Is leaking. This is the sneaky thing about this is. So the whole verb here is leaking, which is action. Yes. So this is not, there's no predicate nominatives or adjectives. She is leaking. Gasoline is something called a direct object. All right, let us do a few of them from the work. Let's actually let's do like 1 through 4 in class here. So, number 1. Underline the linking verb twice and subject once. What's our, Cody, you do the first one for us. Alicia.
Alicia is the subject, and
Yes.
on that once, and then was is the verb.
Was is the verb, it's underlined twice. Alicia was
The winner.
winner. What is winner? Predicate nominative or adjective?
Okay, adjective.
Actually, it's,
Because no one's describing.
here's the problem. There's an adjective before it describing winner. So that means that it is a predicate nominative, it's a noun. Right? All right, number 2. Leah,
Bathing is a noun,
mating is a noun,
and is a verb.
yes.
I think capital is the predicate nominative.
It is predicate nominative, yes, there's an adjective before capital.
Is
That's the
capital.
big, that's the one of the, if there's an adjective describing capital, which in this, that's like the biggest giveaway, whether it's a nominative or adjective.
Is city.
Yes, and see, city is also circled, so it's capital and city in this case. They're both predicate nominatives. And second largest is obviously the adjectives that are describing the city. Christopher, can you do number 3 for me?
God, and it's the subject, and then is the verb.
Yes.
Omnipotent, omniscient,
Omniscient.
and omnipresent.
Are they adjectives or nominatives?
They're all adjectives.
They are adjectives, that's correct. They're describing God, and there is no adjective before describing them. Yes, so that is predicate adjective, PA. Richard, number 4.
The chopped peanuts on my mouth, but I just thought they tasted rancid.
That is an unfortunate situation. All right. What's the subject? Verb?
Tasted.
Yes. Then what do you have? What's our complement?
Rancid,
Rancid is our complement. Is it a predicate adjective or nominative?
like an adjective
It is a predicate adjective. Why?
that describes his peanuts.
Right, and it answers a question. That's the other way to do it. If it answers the question that adjectives answer, which are,
How many, which one, whose, what kind.
yes, which one, what kind, how many, and whose. Those are adjective questions. If it answers one of those questions, it is an adjective. All right. And we're going to describe how to do diagram 1, so we're going to do 2 of these diagrams as well in class. Beijing is China's capital. Down on number 7. How would you go about doing that, Cody?
Beijing is the subject,
Yes?
is the verb,
Yes.
and then a little slash. And then capital goes there. Then what was the sentence?
Beijing is China's capital. It's number 7,
Yeah. And that
down here.
Oh, right there.
Yep.
So, and then, China's, what do you describe the capital?
Right. So it does not matter whether it's an adjective or a nominative when you're diagramming. It does not matter at all. They're both get diagrammed the same way. 9, Christopher, catchphrases and exciting passphrase game.
Catchphrase is the subject. And then is the verb.
Yes.
And then game is the thing that remains.
Is it an adjective or a nominative?
And then exciting
You might want to rethink that.
and exciting and fast paced are adjectives.
Yes. But it is, game is a predicate adjective because it's being described by adjectives. And predicate nominative.
What? It said predicate wrong, didn't it?
Yes. My bad.
Maybe.
I had a thing, yes. What we're gonna do here as far as, if you're working ahead before class or whatever, do not do the lesson, because I would like to do some of that stuff in class. Just if you just do the review, like in language, like after we remember. That way you can participate and, yeah, things and stuff. All right, English. I did this thing where I just like snagged it out, put it on my table, and I can't find it. Let us check lesson 3. We'll talk about adjectives. Number 1, technology is underlined. Yes, technology with an arrow to influence, and D, English is underlined with an arrow to language. Most is underlined with an arrow to parts, and the is underlined with an arrow to world. World 2, D in English is underlined with an arrow to language. Vast and rich is underlined with an arrow to language. Many is underlined with an arrow to words, and other is underlined with an arrow to countries. Number 3, A in Hindi is underlined with an arrow to word. 4, and is underlined with an arrow to Afghan. A is underlined with an arrow to rug. And the and middle can be underlined with an arrow to east, or if you just have the underlined, go to middle to east, it's a compound noun. I don't care which way you do it. It works either way. 5, some is underlined, arrow to words. The with an arrow to English, language, my bad, the language. And scientific, underlined with an arrow to discoveries, technological, arrow to improvements. 6, other with an arrow to words, and new with an arrow to meanings. 7, the with words, A to rodent, A to piece, and computer to equipment. 8, these and 3 with an arrow to processes, and diverse with an arrow to language.
Wait, that was,
That was a tricky one.
I had like hour and idea and that.
Oh, yes, hour is also one.
Okay.
Just
so more and
wasn't in the answer key. Hang on a second, I'll put that in.
more diverse, we're supposed to go to language.
Yes, because it's describing language. That was describing language.
But isn't more go to diverse? And then diverse go to language?
But that would be an adverb.
Is more not underlined?
More is adverb than adjective, because,
So
So
that's
three,
why
I
I
just
missed it.
underlined it.
say what?
That's 3 I missed in that sentence then. There would be. Didn't it just come up with my sentence sometimes?
Yes.
We're supposed to be.
Hour, you can go hour to language. If you don't have it, that's not a big deal.
Yeah. So first offices, I have 3
So, you know, not, see, more is, yeah.
So it's wrong.
Don't,
So 1 wrong or 2 wrong?
I would count, one wrong.
And then 2 underlined.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna look that here. Is 3 supposed to be underlined? And then this, These are,
No, not for, this is not describing anything.
these was the,
These was, yes.
is that
These
too
are-
wrong? You didn't tell me.
No, just one. Basically, each word is worth one, so the arrow is worth one, the underline worth one, so if you just miss the arrows, it's worth half.
Okay, but this, the first one is the arrow and the,
So that's just 1 point.
okay.
Basically, I'm counting them as a set together. So if
Okay,
you just miss the arrow, it's half a point.
and then this one right here, remember I underlined it.
Yeah, right.
Is that a one?
Yes, that's one.
And then this one, that had it, but on the,
Scientific discoveries, yes.
that,
Discoveries, so that's half a point, no? Because the arrow is wrong.
oh, yeah.
You understand what's going on there with the arrow underline thing?
Yeah,
Basically,
I never got adjectives, so.
yeah, they can be tricky for sure, and that's whatever. I try to make them as easy as possible, but, well, we unfortunately don't have a whole class to do it. Participles, what's a participle again? Tell me about it.
A noun form that's acting as an adjective.
Verb form.
Oh, verb form, yeah.
Right, so running, like running water, for instance. If you have running water, running is your participle. How do you diagram a participle? Lisa, come up here and do it for me. Just put water on that line. Precisely. You have this line, we put half of the word on the down slash and the other half across. All right, so participial phrases. Okay, I'll check these out in fact. We don't have time. I'll go through, I'll tell you which phrases are participial phrases. I'll check your diagrams and your review. On my own time, not on yours. All right, so shattering the silence with a siren is a participial phrase. Ruined is your participle. Ruined cake. Leading is a participle, a speller. Grieving over his denial of Christ is a participial phrase. Sung all over the world is a participial phrase. Pleased with the results is a participial phrase, and completed is a participle.
I have two in mind, I have spelling.
Yeah, I just have all of these.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. Also spelling.
So it's one wrong and you skip one.
Yes.
And you're counting them on if we got arrows down, place it away.
Capital. Yeah, so basically the whole thing, the whole thing's worth, if you have an underline and an arrow, the whole thing is worth 1 point. So if you miss the underline altogether, that's 1 point. But if you just get the arrow to the wrong place, it's half a point.
And if you're underlined, we're not supposed to.
Yeah, so like if, for example, you would underline like ruined a cake or they're ruined or something, you can count that out. All right.
So, would this one be two and a half wrong, because I didn't draw them. I kind of don't know if they're not
Which one?
underlining.
Yeah, so
I kind of don't know if they're not underlining it, but then I didn't draw yours.
So if you have no arrows and no underlining at all, that's 1 point per. All right, using modifiers correctly. A fairly simple lesson with some funny side effects. So like, for example, we saw 3 deer coming home from school. Coming home from school is a, what's misplaced modifier is what it is. It seems to be describing the deer because of the way we use sentences. And deer don't often come home from school. There might be occasions when a deer would come home from school, but it would make more sense to try to put coming home from school closer to we. So it would seem to be describing we instead of deer. For example, coming home from school, we saw 3 deer. Some of these things can be open to interpretation. So we're going to do a few of these in, we'll run through some of these, and then we'll do a few of them in class here. So, a dangling modifier has no word to describe, so often you have to actually add a word into your sentence for it to describe. For example, whistling a hymn, a tape played in the background, well, tapes don't whistle, or they're not supposed to. If you know anything about tapes, they might. What you should do, you should rewrite it with something in there that would take the place that would be whistling there. So like, for example, whistling a hymn, Dad worked in the car while tape played in the background. Or drinking water, the jalapeno taste was still overpowering. Jalapeno taste can't drink water, it's impossible. It's impossible for a jalapeno taste to drink water. So yeah, although I tried drinking water, the jalapeno taste is still overpowering. Or there's multiple ways to rewrite it in this case. So let's do 1 through 4 here in class. B, Jersey. I just did the first one for you. First one's B. 1 is B. The options are lying on the Quebec-Labrador boundary, Prospect, Congo, and Labrador Trough. Or Prospect, Congo, and Labrador Trough, lying on the Quebec-Labrador boundary. Basically, you're getting it to describe where the Labrador Trough is, because that's something that not everybody knows. So lying on the Quebec-Labrador boundary is describing the trough, the Labrador Trough. All right, here's you do 2. 2 should be A, yes. Because the clouds aren't really waiting to see anything, now that you mention it. 3, Christie.
B.
B would be correct. The road doesn't have a flat tire. 4. A. Yeah, the car isn't going anywhere either. Why don't we can just do these ones orally. If you didn't write them down, you don't have to. 5. Happy with my test grade, studying did not seem necessary. What would you do there?
I would write studying would not seem necessary because I was happy with my test grades.
Right. Yeah, because I was happy with my test grade, studying did not seem necessary, something like that. You have to make sure that you have, you have to add I in here. There's no, because I was happy with my test grades, I did not think studying seemed necessary, or whatever, something like that. 6, Lisa.
Technically, wow, how crazy.
Yeah, that would work. Something like that. Or playing baseball, we thought the afternoon passed quickly. Just have a we in there. That works as well. But your system makes more sense. It would be the way we would talk normally, instead of trying to cram it all into an awkward phrase. Awkward phraseology is inconvenient. 7, Bruce.
We bought a gallon of milk, which costs $2.99.
Right, because the store didn't cost $2.99. Obviously, thank you. So we bought a gallon of milk, which cost $2.99 at the store. All right, okay, so the teacher explained why we should always tell the truth on Mondays. Tuesdays, let me do whatever you want. Tell a lie. Biggest lie you can today is Mondays, we gotta go through.
On Monday, the teacher explained that you should always tell the truth.
Do not write any of those down, that's fine. If you did, I will not penalize you.
On number 14 is hundreds.
Number 14. Hundreds of Protestants. Faithful and
I need one more.
okay, so what is of Protestants? Right. So Protestants is the object of preposition, correct?
Yeah.
So that's good.
That can be
Now-
down.
Yes. Well, hundreds were persecuted, right?
Yeah, so
Yes. So of Protestants is describing hundreds. Hundreds is the
So
noun. Hundreds is
Protestant
the
is
verb.
a prepositional phrase, like an adjective.
Right.
So that one's in the way. I'm not getting this part very well because,
You don't need to worry about that. Oh, it's because it's an object of preposition. Let me put my fancy little thing so I don't tell you wrong. Selfishness. That's what's going on there. Where did my special little book go? I have all of them? Oh, there it is. Four, number 14, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. What are some other adjectives in there? Let's just go through this one and get this one done. Let's get it right now.
But it is, so you
Yes.
circle hundreds and Protestants,
Hundreds of Protestants get circled.
and then I have 1,500s in England.
1,500 in England also get circled.
And stake and hands,
Stake in hands.
Christian backs and lot and council and buses.
Yes. All those things. What about adjectives?
faithful to God, and
And the, and the,
There,
and there.
and
these,
These Christians, yes, these is an adjective.
faithful,
faithful refuse,
No, not refused. Refused is a verb. Faithful
there,
and there
various.
and various. Various accounts is describing accounts. Which kind of accounts? Various.
comes in eight though.
Well, that's all we got. Faithful, devout,
Yeah, I
the,
have nine.
there, these, faithful, there, and various.
I counted them backwards.
You count them backwards,
So I have to count them.
you turn your number upside down, you get 6. Alright, so we're good on that? Christopher and Richard, give each other spelling words.